Welcome to the Leadership Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Swan, Principal Consultant with Peridot Circle Consulting. In this podcast, we explore real-life situations with the help of our two founders and principal consultants, Linda Linfield and Janet Taggart. Linda specializes in executive leadership and leadership team development, sparking higher levels of self-awareness and purpose-driven self-mastery. Janet specializes in empowering leadership transformation from the inside out, coaching aspiring to executive leaders to becoming known for their highest value. So, Linda, I have a question for you. I'm wondering what kind of advice you would have for somebody. It seems like I work with a person like this often, and I have wondered how to coach them and help them be successful, but I've noticed this happening. So someone who's very talented in a technical type skill. So maybe someone in accounting, or it might be in IT or something along those lines, who really has a desire to contribute to the organization on a grander level. So they offer ideas, but feel like they're shut down and they just feel invisible, like they're being told, you're just a cog, just stay in your lane. They don't feel appreciated, that they are more than just that one dimension. And while they're excellent, they're extraordinary at what they do, but they really want to be seen as more. So how do they get beyond the just do your job attitude that their leaders may have about them?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And it's one we get quite a bit. It's not unusual for our clients to come to us feeling frustrated that their leaders don't see them for the value that they have the potential to deliver. And the fact of the matter is, when someone's hired for a position, a lot of effort goes in to figuring out whether that person is a good fit for the position, a good fit for the organization, and whether or not that person can actually do the job for which they're being hired. And so sometimes there's not a very robust listening for someone who wants to quickly or very soon move to a different kind of position. Sometimes that creates angst in the manager that, oh, I spent all this time hiring somebody for this position, and now they seem to want to operate outside of that contract, of that position, right? That position that we need done. So I think one of the things that we need to explore with the person who has this question or this frustration is, are they actually fulfilling their current role? Are they fulfilling it to the best of their ability so that they are recognized as the best or one of the best in that role? So in other words, we would want to help them see the importance of actually doing their current job to the best of their ability. And there's some magic that happens when you fulfill your current job to the best of your ability. So number one, it creates a listening for you. You become the avowed expert or the model for that role. And it's natural for the people around you, the leaders and your teammates, to look at you as a role model and to seek you out for advice and help on how to do things better or more intuitively, right? What's the intuition you have that they may be missing? Or what do you see that they don't see yet? So they they start to look to you as a coach or a mentor in that particular domain. And oftentimes your opinion is sought out for things that aren't just the worker bee types of things, right? They're the things at the next level. Those people who completely fill out that their current role are often tapped to be team leaders, or they're often at the top of the list to become the manager if a manager position becomes available. Sometimes, so that's the number one thing. Number one thing I would say, ask yourself, am I doing a great job at fulfilling, pushing the boundaries of my current role? Then the second thing is to think about, what does my manager and my manager's peers need that they're not currently getting from the people who are operating at my level? what is it they need to know that they don't know? What do they need to see that they don't see? What do they need to understand that they don't understand? And because if we can figure that out, we can figure out what the listening is of those people that we want to speak into. What is it they need that we can help them get, rather than what is it we need that they can help us get? We'll get a lot further if we can understand where the energy is and go where that energy is. Jana, do you have any thoughts on this particular topic?
Yes, I do. And I, first of all, here, I totally agree with everything you said. And what I find sometimes what happens with leaders I work with is they start to do the things you described, and right, they start getting some footing. And yet what's interesting, even if they want to bridge into leadership or a higher role in leadership, they're still using the language or talking as if they're the worker bee or the lower level manager. And so there's a real talent, there's a real skill to start to be able to talk about what you do in terms of where you want to go. Right. So I work with this leader who really wants to be a people leader, and he has a lot of great communication skills, very technically astute. And yet when I ask him things like, why do you want to get into leadership? He talks about more tactical, technical issues instead of what he wants to cause to happen from a leadership, helping his people grow in a particular way, right? There's another way that you speak when you're talking about the difference you make as a leader. And so that's been the challenge that we've been bridging with him, is to help him also be able to tell his story, to talk about what he does technically, and also include what he's doing that's changing and influencing people personally in order to get the results they're getting.
One thing interesting about what you were just saying, Janet, is you're already referring to this person who wants to be a leader. You're already referring to him as a leader. You said a leader that I've been working with. So in your mind, he's already accomplished that. In his own mind, he hasn't accomplished it. And I think that's really important, right? And I want to just draw us back to the idea that if we want to be a leader, we need to think of ourselves as a leader. And there's the first step is to completely fill our current role to the best of our ability and to become the leader in that. And then it's much easier to bridge into a higher level of leadership in the organization. And we need to think about ourselves, regardless of our role, as a person who provides leadership.
At Peridot Circle, we facilitate the growth and transformation of individuals, leaders, and emerging leaders of fast-growing, tech-savvy organizations. If any of our listeners are interested in learning more about our approach to leadership coaching at Peridot Circle Consulting and how to help transform how you show up at work, book a consult with us online at peridotcircleconsulting.com. We would love to help you and your organization achieve more than ever before.